Hello again. A couple of months ago, I shared with you my first roll with Pentax 17. I finally managed to finish the second roll, and this one it took me some time, and it feels like it never ends. 72 frames are a lot, and I kind of pushed it a little on the weekend because I was halfway through, and it was already more than a couple of months. And I developed it the past, I think yesterday, and scan it. And the film I used was an APX 400. This one, it's there. And as you expect, it has a little more grain than the first one. Also, the tones kind of, I don't know if it's expected, the tones are a little kind of different type of gray compared to the previous film I used. And I developed it using caffenol. And for first time I fixed with hypo. Hypo was used in early time in photography, and the scientific term is sodium thiosulfate. So I weighed around 125, I think, grams of it in 500 ml of water, and the water was around 45 degrees, so it can be easier diluted. And then after developing with the caffeinol, I leave it for around 20 minutes acetate, how it's called, with the fixer, and it worked. It was the first time I was trying it, and I thought, let's try if it worked. So, and it was, as I said, it was used in the older times. The one of the negatives they say for this is like you cannot reuse it. So, and you have to use it after make the solution in 24 hours or something like that, I read. So for me, I just mix before preparing the caffeinol or any developer, and then I can fix it. And what's next? Then as I dry and scan at home, I have another video where I describe how I scan my films, and I will maybe add a link also to that one, and to, I don't know if I remember I said, but I will also add a link to the you should have already seen it. A link to um, my first roll with this camera. It was a different film in that case. So what I'm going to do today is, except that I'm going to go through some of the photos, and most of the photos again, I was impressed with how well they came, and under not so easy lighting conditions. One photo failed, and you can see that now. And I think it was too dark or something, and I'm not sure if I have it like in B program or something like that, but I don't think it's the fault of the camera. I think it was the fault of me. I did something wrong myself. And this is another photo I'm going to show you, starting before I show you to the good ones. And this is, you can see it has this like dust sign, I don't know, dust imperfections, defects, I don't know how it's called, in the scan. And I thought it was something to do with my my fixer. But then I have gone and try and check again and scan again, and it was just dust. So to be honest, I'm not so careful on these processes, and I have to be a little more. And I think my floor was dusty, and because it was only in the last part of the film, so maybe that's that. And on the other hand, it really adds and gives a feeling of an old scan, which is, I think, a lot of software. You need some software to create this one. So, and then I will come back to the subject of this photo a little later, because I have kind of similar photos. Okay, this is one of my favorite photos, and again, it's the subject mainly. The type of things I like to photograph is like, I was passing. I have my camera in my bag, and I wasn't intending to take any photo, but I couldn't not take a photo. And it is because it was, you see, like half of a mannequin, and it was in the wrong place. It was like in a place you could never expect it to be there. So I took a photo of it, and I'm kind of impressed on how you can see it's not perfect, but you can see what's some, both in the dark and in the light areas, you can see some details. And And even if it is like a digital image, sometimes you cannot see that. And I don't know if it has to do with how I'm scanning and everything, but I don't know if it was like if it was scanned by a lab, if it was the same thing or if it was bad, because on the later on in Photoshop I can recover some details. So yeah, for this I just shared it to you because I wasn't expecting to see that. This one again is one of my favorites. I was conscious that I would like this photo when I was taking if it came up well. It was a macro photo, and again you can see how well this camera performs, and you can see like on the behind the beautiful bokeh, and you can see also the grain of the film, but it gives a nice feeling. Next we have this one again. It's nothing special, but I'm looking to my screen also. Uh, but I think beautiful bokeh, and you can see how the behind is out of focus and sharp in the front, and it's still amazing me that this camera, the focusing is not even, it's not automated. You can just select based off, you select the distance, as we say in the previous video, in the first one, and then you can select like using these. If you have not seen my previous video, this you can use this to estimate the focusing distance for the macro photography, and it works. It's a really beautiful image. Next one, and this is side, and I was impressed again because it performed really well. Again, you can see like the bits, you can see the behind the sky, and you can see like the maybe in the shadow because behind the kiosk is not perfect, but I think it's a good image, not a bad one. This again, I took a photo of this because this double I don't know, the double image, how they juxtapose it, if I'm saying this English word correctly. English is not my first language. And I like the effect of this, and I took a photo and I thought it might be interesting, and I'm quite happy with it. Again, it's like, this is another of the kind of the subjects I quite like to photograph. And maybe the same place I took it from time to time, and it's again, I'm impressed on how good the quality of the image is, considering everything it suffered, not proper developer, not proper fixer, and not proper scanning, and I can be happy with the final image. And I like again to photograph like posters and things like that. This one, I was like on the weekend, and I have gone to the area, and it was like outside the city area, and it was some abandoned buildings. But opposite to that, it's like it's a lot of new buildings, like kind of schools or hotels, or from the municipality, if I'm saying that correct. Again, it's like some official offices. And this, they left it as it is. I don't know what was it. But this bring me. First of all, I'm quite happy with how the image turned out again, and the quality of the camera, the lens, everything. But it reminds me of some old photos I have seen like in historical photography books. I'm not comparing myself to the great photographers, but it's just a reference to them. Next photo again is the billboards, and this black and white and maybe this type of film again give the feeling that it is something old, and the subject itself support this. It's like you can see that similar billboards on the photographers of early 1930s. I don't want to say wrong photo, but it's like when the billboards was more important and the posters were more the source of information for people before the time of the internet and everything like that. The next is the same subject. Like this was again an interesting for me because when I was looking to that, I was aware that the lighting conditions were not great, and I wasn't sure how the camera would perform, and it came up with quite some decent images. And it's a series. I will show you more photos with that later. And yes, as I say, it's I don't know. The subject is kind of interesting. I not frequently photographing this type of things, and it was feeling more like wasting my film. But I don't know, many times I'm feeling that, and then when I look at the photos I quite enjoy them. And again, the final one is like street art, but again it came up really nice and I'm quite happy with it. So this is like 12 of the photos, and I will share with you the remaining in like a slideshow, and I'll come back to see you in a few minutes. Hello again, I hope you didn't find too boring my first long speaking and then the photos as a slideshow. I don't know if that was interesting, but for me I started thinking like, I don't know how many people will see that, but it's a way of me communicating my work, and somehow it feels motivating to keep creating. And it's weird because just some thoughts like, although I put my face in the camera, it feels like I'm not sharing a lot of personal things as opposed to social media. So I don't know if this will be interesting just to speaking from my work or some my thoughts about my photography. And if you're still here, thank you very very much. And if you like what you have seen, please like and subscribe. Or if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will be happy to reply in the comments. And that's all. And if you find this interesting, I will try to share more photos and more thoughts about my photos. It's something, thinking about that, something seldom did, or maybe I was doing for my course when I was studying, but it was not me speaking about my work. Maybe only when I did an exhibition as a part of my degree. So that's all I think for today. Again, I spoke more than I was expecting. So see you soon. Have a good day. Bye.